Hi everyone, I'm Josh, and today's episode is a really special one for me. As someone who's found the sea to be a grounding, guiding force in my own recovery, I'm excited to speak to someone who truly understands the power of the ocean, not just as a sport, but as a way of life. Our guest today is Pegleg Bennett, an adaptive surfer, surf coach, adventurer, and advocate for pushing boundaries in and out of the water. Cool. Right, so I guess a good place to start was...
I'm blushing a bit after that.
Good, that's what I was hoping for. Can you take us back to where your love of surfing began?
I've just always had a love of the water, whether that be a swimming pool or the ocean or a river or a quarry. I'm a water baby.
Yeah,
100%. And it was a natural progression for me to get into surfing. You know, I've always been in there on bodyboards and belly boards. Having an artificial leg, I never really thought about stand-up surfing at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, kind of it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And then myself being myself kind of went, well, why is it never going to happen? Let's make it happen.
Yeah, push the boundaries.
Yeah, push the boundaries. Yeah, my boundaries to start with. So I got myself a surfboard to stand up on, and then went, well, how am I going to get it down the beach? Because I can't walk down the beach, because I'll be hobbling down the beach without a leg on.
Yeah.
And I've got this big surfboard to carry. Thankfully, I have some very good friends. So basically my best mate, guy in the village called John, he used to carry my surfboard down for me, and I'd carry his kneeboard because it was a lot shorter and easier to manage.
Yeah.
And we'd paddle out together, and that was it. I was hooked on standing up on one leg and a stump. Yeah.
Yeah, which is definitely an impressive thing to be able to achieve, and especially overcoming that kind of, I guess, mental struggle of thinking that you couldn't do something, and like you said, pushing the boundaries.
I could, and I can imagine. Well, you can imagine some of the looks I used to get, especially low tide at Perranporth is quite a big beach.
Yeah,
and you got this guy with a surfboard hobbling down and hopping and rolling and doing whatever he had to get to the water's edge.
Yeah,
it was. I'm guessing quite interesting to watch. For myself, I'd have probably been quite amused by it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting, especially like, we were just speaking about how you're training someone at the moment that it was blind.
Yeah, he's blind. Yeah, 100% blind, blind from birth.
Yeah, and for someone that doesn't have any disability like that, it was a wild thought to think that was something that you'd be able to achieve. So yeah, it's amazing the limits we put on.
It's not an easy sport to learn anyway.
Yeah. Well, I can't surf, so yes, definitely.
But yeah, then to throw in somebody that has challenges of their own.
Yeah.
And it's all about finding a way around those challenges. Everything everybody does in everyday life has challenges for the first time. You just find a way around it.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say that's why you challenged the name Pegleg, and is that kind of what inspired that step for you personally?
Yeah. So. Well, within the village, so my given name was Ricky.
Yeah.
Within the village, there was a few Ricks around. So everybody had their own thing. There was Ricko. I was Pegleg Rick.
Yeah.
That's where it all kind of started. And then people just started calling me Pegleg, and I kind of, I'm comfortable with it. I didn't have a problem. And then sort of 7-8 years ago, I suppose, I was training for the London Marathon. And I was running through the village, run past one of the surf shops. My mate says, hi, Pegleg, are you still training? It's like, yeah, marathon's coming up. Right. Kept running. And there was a woman behind me, well, I'd run past her, who took it on herself to have a go at him for calling me Pegleg.
Okay.
And he was like, but that's his name, that's what we all call him. He calls himself it. I got the Cornish for Pegleg tattooed on my foot.
Yeah.
It's like, that's who he is. And she ripped into him. He told me about this, and not long before, somebody on Facebook had reported me for my name not being my name. So Facebook changed it without asking me, and then said, you've got to prove that's the name you go by.
Yeah.
So yeah, with those two incidents, I got to the point I went, you know what, why not just change it? So I went online at 8:30 in the morning, and the paperwork came through 11:30 the next day.
Perfect.
Got it all witnessed, and so sent it off. Bank accounts, driving license, passport was an interesting one.
I can imagine.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions and a lot of paperwork had to be sent in. Yeah, just prove I was living by that name. Yeah, so utility bills and credit card bills, and they were still asking for more. So in the end, I phoned them up. I went, look, I'm happy. I'll jump in the car. I'll drive up to you. We'll just sit down. We'll have a chat. And about 4 hours later, I got an email through going, yeah, all right, fine, you've got it. So,
yeah. I mean, that's massively empowering, especially when it comes to a passport, because I mean, they're a difficult thing to attain at the best of times. Sometimes
it wasn't easy, and it was like about 18 months it took me to get my passport sorted out. Yeah, the problem was because I changed my name legally, and then I got a passport in another name, and then I can't travel. Yeah, because that's not me.
Yeah. Where was the first place that you went to after you finally got your passport?
States, amazing. America, and that was interesting as well. Going in border control.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
and they're kind of like, seriously? That's your name? So I was like, yeah, I got an artificial leg. And if I'm traveling through an airport, I always wear shorts because every alarm goes off.
Yeah. It saves the explanation.
The guy literally stood up, looked over the counter and went, oh, right, okay, yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learnt my lesson with the shorts. So I was traveling around Africa in long trousers. Went through the metal detector. It went off. The guy patted me down, found my leg, stepped back and pulled a gun out. And from that moment on, I'm wearing shorts in there.
Yeah.
It's the first and only time I've looked down a gun, and I don't want to do it again.
No, that's definitely, I mean, that's a perfect way to avoid it.
Yeah.
For me, the sea's been a huge healing part of my journey, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Can you kind of speak on how the sea's played like a big role in your life, or the water in general? Because I feel very similarly. I sailed a lot of my growing up, and never been one for being in the water. I prefer to be on it in a boat, and I love it.
I like being on it in a boat, but I do prefer being in it.
I'm just not good with the cold. That's the thing. And
get a thick wetsuit.
Yeah. My mum says this. I just don't like getting them on and off. So, yeah. I guess what have you found it particularly kind of healing or encouraging in your journey? I mean, obviously, it plays a big part in it.
Yeah, the ocean to me is everything. You know, I'm at a stage now where I've got salt water in my veins, not blood.
Yeah.
It has taken me through all the dark times. It's been my focus. For me, it's the one thing that's never let me down. It's always been there.
It's a constant.
When I've needed it.
Yeah.
It's my escape. As soon as I step in that ocean, everything on land gets left behind. I don't think or feel about anything else. I'm just there, totally focused and in the moment.
Yeah, you've given me goosebumps. That's how I feel sailing.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's it's my meditation, it's my therapy, it's my gym, it's everything. It's me.
Yeah,
it's in my DNA. It's a part of me. I strongly believe everybody belongs somewhere in nature. For me, it's the ocean. Some people, it's the forests or the woods.
Yeah.
We are built that way as a species. We've just forgotten it.
Yes, I would totally agree.
Yeah. And once I realised that and started to tune into it, it's why I walk around barefoot.
Yeah.
Whenever I can. You know, I like to connect to the Earth's magnetic fields. You know, if you don't, like I said, as a species, I think we've lost touch of that. And I like to reconnect. And for me, that's what the ocean is. Everything melts away.
Yeah.
My problems melt away. And yeah, my mental health, because of if I didn't have the ocean, I would be in a lot darker place. Yeah.
It's funny because I say I didn't enjoy being in the water. I remember as a kid that I would always find peace at the bottom of the swimming pool. I used to love just sitting down there for like however long I could hold my breath, and nothing can get you. That's what it feels like. The most dangerous thing is the thing you're already in. So it's like
for me, it's also controlling that environment. But if I'm in water and I'm submersed in water, whether that's a swimming pool or here or sat on the bottom of the pool, for my big wave surfing, I do a lot of training.
Yeah.
The lifeguards at Nuki Pool hate it when I turn up because I'm sat down there for 4 minutes and they're panicking. It's like, oh my God, Peg's here. No. But it's like I'm getting a big hug. You know, it's almost like being back in the womb because I'm totally encapsulated by the water, and it's my happy place. It's everything.
I think I've had some people say that to me before, that it feels like a hug, and I think that's why personally I find it overwhelming sometimes, because I quite like my space, so
Yeah.
that's why I'd rather be on it, and I can choose to go in it then.
I'm exactly the same. I like my space.
Yeah.
I do have to have my space, but that space, I don't find it overwhelming. It's safe. Like you said, it's the most dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
But I feel safe.
As long as you respect it, then you're going to be all right. That's what I was told as a kid. I mean, you can respect a riptide, but that can still get you actually.
And they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just knowing how to handle it and how to get out of it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that I was brought up by, I wouldn't say sailors, but parents that were I guess fond or familiar with the sea.
Yeah, you have an understanding.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people don't respect it, and we see that with people coming on holiday down here.
Yeah.
So you've built a whole community through Peg Surf Coaching. What's your philosophy when teaching, especially for people who might be new to surfing or living with differences?
My philosophy is have fun, because that's what the root of it. Surfing is about having fun, enjoying being in the ocean. I don't put any kind of pressure on anybody other than to come out of that ocean with a smile on their face. Everybody's an individual, and I work to each individual's abilities. Nobody has a disability in my eyes.
Yeah.
Everybody has an ability. We just need to work out how to use it and how to make it work. I look at everybody as an individual, because we're all individuals.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether you got an arm missing, a leg missing, autism or whatever, or if you've been to dark places and you've come out, it's like everyone's an individual. Get to know the individual, and we work with it.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I mean, as beautiful as Cornwall can be, as beautiful as Cornwall is, it's not always the quickest place to embrace differences. Do you feel attitudes have shifted over the years? Have you seen more openness and more inclusion?
Yes, definitely. Obviously, I've been doing this a long time with one leg. And there was never, from the disability side, there was never anything set up for us. I spent years looking for people.
Yeah.
And I think the mind shift has changed considerably. Surfing, not just on the disability side, but you can now get it prescribed as well.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So from a mental health point of view, you can get it prescribed. The police are using it now. The military use it as well, as a for mental health benefits of it. As surfers, we've always known it. We didn't need a professional to tell us that it was good for it, because we knew.
Yeah.
But now it's been recognised, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody is getting to harness the beauty of the ocean.
Yeah, no, certainly. Do you think it's the sport, or do you think it's the sea, or do you think it's a combination of the two that
it's
helps so much?
It's the ocean. I mean, being in the ocean is therapy, whether you got a surfboard or not.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Whether you got a surfboard or not. I mean, you look at the blue tits. The women are out there all year. Bikinis, the lot, absolutely crazy, but they're getting something from it, and it's great.
Yeah, I see them in the morning because I walk the dog quite early on the beach, and not one to brave the cold water yet. I did on Sunday, but
I'm not
without the wind.
I'm not doing it without a wetsuit.
Yeah, my mum says that, but I don't have one, so I have to do it without a wetsuit.
Now I'm in for like 2 hours a session.
Yeah,
they're in for 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that was me. Yeah. You've competed all over the world and brought home medals. What does it mean to you to represent adaptive surfing on that stage?
It's a big thing for me. Well, personally, obviously, to compete and come away with medals and world championships and stuff like that, obviously on a personal level, that's fantastic. It's something I never envisioned would ever be happening when I first started surfing.
Yeah,
I never thought I'd get to that standard. But to be pushing adaptive surfing and highlighting it and bringing it to a wider kind of audience is, for me, it's a mission. But it's also an honour. To be an advocate for it, and like I said, bring it to the wider world. The Maritime Museum in Falmouth, I've got an exhibition on at the moment called Surf.
Yes.
I was asked to put a few bits and pieces in there, which was an honour. It's like almost a Cornish Surfing Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
As it were, 100 years of surfing in Cornwall, and I've been asked to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. So got one of my big wave surfboards in there. put one of my legs in there, my world championship belts in there, and some photos up, and it's just like an acknowledgement of kind of what I've hopefully brought to and achieved for the sport in general, but adaptive surfing within that as well.
Yeah, and I think it definitely shows that, and it shows a wider acceptance of it. And the Paralympic movement has shown signs of opening up to adaptive surfing. What would inclusion at that level mean for future surfers?
Yeah, we were so close for 2028. So close. It came down to us or paraclimbing.
Yeah.
And paraclimbing took it. Yeah. So obviously we've been pushing for years, obviously, and we still are for Sydney 32. So that's what we're hoping for. But to get it included at that level would be phenomenal. I'll probably be a little bit long in the tooth by then. So maybe be there as a coach, not as a an athlete. But then you never know.
No.
Let's wait and see how I get on. But the doors it would also open up as well by putting a Paralympic team together. Funding wise, we get no funding.
Yeah.
So all the competitions we do, they're all self-funded. Surfing England they put a lot into it, as much as they can financially. So there's a adaptive roadshow that travels around the country trying to, we're not trying to, but highlighting adaptive surfing and bringing new people into it. For the English competitions where we represent as a team, they cover our registration fee, stuff like that. So they do put money, as much as they can, into it. But the other doors it would open up from Sport England and stuff like that would be phenomenal. For one, highlighting the sport, and two, bringing new people in as well.
Yeah.
And just expanding the sport. It, as far as surfing goes, it's the biggest and fastest growing section of surfing.
Okay.
Is the adaptive side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and obviously you kind of been at the forefront of that, which you should be really, really proud of.
I've been kind of for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been sort of pushing and trying to grow this and make it more accessible.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to do. I want to make the ocean accessible to everybody.
Well, it sounds like you're doing that already. So
everybody has a right to take risks as long as you're doing it in a safe environment.
Yeah.
Because the adrenaline you rush you get off of that, even if you're just on your belly and riding a wave, that feel of the glide.
Yeah.
And just the adrenaline rush and the speed and everything, it's phenomenal. That's the addictive side of it. It's that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense why I see them sitting out even in the freezing weather, waiting to catch a wave. So
I've surfed in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
It's crazy what we put ourselves through to get quiet waves. Yeah.
Which kind of perfect, because you've travelled everywhere from the Arctic to the Sahara in your van, and I've heard a few stories about the Beast too. What does your lifestyle give you that the everyday world doesn't?
It gives me the excuse to travel, and it gives me the excuse to be a child. Because I am.
I think we all lose that.
I'm a big kid.
Yeah, good. I mean, that's what life's about, isn't it?
I'm a 55-year-old child. Well, that's what my missus says.
Yeah, I think that there's no better way to describe someone.
It gives me the opportunity to do the thing that I love, to do my passion.
Yeah.
So, I've travelled the world. I've been all over Asia. I've been over Africa. As you said, I've been up into the Arctic Circle. I've surfed in Iceland, the States, Hawaii, Japan. It's and represent. Not every country I've been to have I competed.
Yeah.
But it's given me the opportunity to represent myself, adaptive surfing, Great Britain, England. It's and that's an honour to be able to do that, and it's also a very good excuse to do it.
To go.
I should be going to work for the next month. No, I'm going to have to go on a trip.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I just booked a flight. So I wake up in the morning, sort of look at Annie and go, I've just booked a flight, and she's like, what? I was like, yeah, we're going to New Zealand. There's a competition. She's like, oh, okay.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, what's going on? You're taking me to New Zealand for a comp. All right.
Is there a memory from your travels that sticks with you, something that's changed the way that you look at the world or yourself? Or is it just the experience in general?
As a man of an age,
yeah.
Now, I'm cracking on a bit. Surfing as a wave in Portugal called Nazaré.
Okay.
It's the biggest waves in the world, rideable waves in the world, basically. Yeah. It's huge. The first time I surfed there on a proper swell, it made me aware of my mortality. All of a
Yes.
sudden, I wasn't indestructible. I've always surfed the big surf. I've always loved the big waves, the ones that most people look and go, no, I'm not going anywhere near it. But yeah, surfing there the first time and having the first serious kind of wipe out and hold down, made me aware of my mortality. I've always been a bit, not cocky, but a bit overconfident. I've always trained, but always been a bit too confident. And then so that was a wake up call. Younger and just in general, traveling the world, experiencing different cultures. I like to think I'm not a holiday maker when I'm away. I'm a traveller.
Yeah.
And I immerse myself in the culture.
Yeah, you're not off to resorts.
Yeah. I'm not out looking for Paddy's Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm there looking for a restaurant. I'm in Japan. There's a restaurant full of Japanese. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Because the food's going to be really good. And you can always get around the language barrier.
Yeah.
Or if not, you just point and it's potluck. So yeah, and I'm like that in every country I go to. I want to experience, and that I feel as I've travelled more and more has given me an insight, I suppose, into people in general.
Yeah.
Into I've never been insular and isolated. I've done a lot of travelling on my own, so you have to interact.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't get anything done.
No, definitely.
So yeah, and that's another way that I've always pushed myself. I've consciously done that because I can be quite insular.
Yeah.
So let's say me and yourself went off travelling, and then I could quite comfortably just be you and me travelling around and doing our thing because you don't have to.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So by doing that, I've pushed myself again to, and just realising that we're all the same. We're all just people.
Yeah.
We all have our challenges, and we all go through the ups and the downs, and we can all help each other get through them.
So I guess perfectly again moving on. For people listening who might be going through a tough time or feeling disconnected from themselves, what would you say to them about finding peace through movement or the sea?
Peace through movement and the sea is actually very easy.
Yeah.
You get people go, oh no, I can't exercise, I can't do that, I can't do anyone. You can start off by walking around the block.
Yeah.
We're not saying right, exercise, go and do a 5k run, or go and do 100 lengths in the swimming pool. But by being active, I found it fires off them endorphins, and it makes you feel good within yourself just being active. Within my life, I've now taken it to the extremes.
Yeah.
But then I've done that because it's helped me get over stuff.
Yeah.
It's helped me get over addictions.
Yeah.
So it's helped me get out of drugs. I replaced drugs with alcohol. It helped me get out of the alcohol.
Yeah.
So, but that is foundations has been set in exercise. Primarily for me, it's the ocean.
Yeah.
But then I do run as well, so I run marathons and stuff like that. And that, firing off those endorphins and getting those happy feelings and that kind of sense of achievement from doing that stuff has helped me progress to where I want to be now, which is exactly where I want to be. I'm in a happy place. I'm in a good place. And there's been times when I never thought that I would find that and that I would get there. But through support from good people,
a little perseverance,
and a bit of perseverance from my own side, being tenacious, should we say, and not being stubborn. I suppose, because I am a person of extremes. I either am or I'm not.
Yes, I feel similarly.
That's the way it is. So the drug side of it, it's like I'm doing it, and I did hard, and I was a surfer in the 80s. It was a hedonistic time back then. Surfing wasn't so much based around the athlete side of it and being healthy and all the rest of it. Is based around being the almost anarchic side. and just kind of being full on, and that's what we did. We partied hard and we surfed hard, and that was our lives.
Yeah.
I suppose getting older as well kind of helps me see, but I literally woke up one morning and just went, I'm killing myself. If I don't stop, I'm not going to last much longer.
Yeah, I think that's the point I got to as well, because I similarly struggled with both addiction and then with alcohol, so drugs and alcohol. It has just taken for me to find what makes me happy. But I guess a good question to probably put to you is, what keeps you going on those hard days? Because despite all the work we do, we still have those days where the call is quite strong, let's say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. What keeps me going? A good woman. My children now, they are kind of my sanity. Yeah. Obviously, I've got a few years younger than you. So, but yeah,
one or two.
I've spaced my children out quite a lot actually now. So my oldest is 33. She's all grown up, got a grandson. My son's 25, and then my youngest is 13.
Okay, that's nice.
So what I kind of say is, as they started growing up, I lost the playmate, so I had another one.
Yeah.
And I had another playmate. Yeah. And then I had another one.
So it's kept the child in you alive as well.
Yeah, they've kept me sane. So yeah, they've been a big focus sort of in my life. And the ocean.
Yeah.
It's when those days kick in and those times happen, I can just look at Annie and go, I'm surfing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
That's a
and I'll come back and you're a completely different person to what you have been for the last few days. Because I'll go down quite quick.
Yeah.
It's like, and I go, if there's no surfing, it's flat or whatever, and I'll go, and then she's like, right, I'm surfing. She's like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, cool. And then I come back and we'll sit, we'll talk, we'll go, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
So it's your kind of tonic for life then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's my happy place. We're sat here looking over the beach. That's my office.
Yeah, I love it here.
Okay? Trust me, in November when it's raining and there's a northerly wind blowing, it's not quite as nice.
Yeah,
and it is a bit chilly, but I'm on the beach.
Yeah. I guess. So, what's next for you? What kind of legacy do you hope to leave for younger adaptive athletes and adventurers?
Hopefully, I will be looked at as a role model. To have achieved what I have. I mean, even before the whole big adaptive competition side kicked off, back in the 90s, I was competing. It was against the able-bodied guys. There was nothing else. So I did compete. Got some with a bit of success. I got trophies and I've got medals and stuff like that. Nothing on a grand scale like European champion or anything like that. But I got a few bits and pieces. But yeah, as a role model, I would hope to kind of look and go, yep, and I can achieve whatever I want to set my mind to. Never say never. Peg never said never.
Yeah.
And kind of, even when he was down, he kind of went, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
And I have. And at times it's been a long slog where you pull yourself back from the brink.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've been on the brink. I've been sat looking over the edge, looking at the rock I was going to land on.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's, but then it's not just what you leave behind. For me, it's who I would leave behind and what they would have to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Back then when I was kind of in that place. And now, I've made it through that and I'm here chatting to you.
Yeah.
Quite happily about it. It was a time in my life that has brought me to where I am, and where I am is very happy now. Yeah.
And I think a lot can be said for, it's not about how we fall, it's about how we get back up afterwards.
Yeah.
And
it's getting yourself up, brushing yourself off and going, do you know what? No, I've got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can do this.
Yeah. And I think I'd speak for everyone when I say, obviously we're all grateful that you're here. And I think it's amazing that you're going to leave behind such a legacy when it comes to adaptive surfing. And just encouraging people to get out, and when there are physical challenges that they may have in
Yeah.
life, that's
and it's
yeah,
that thing,
something.
like I say, it's not just that physical. It's that physical or mental. If you're struggling,
Yeah.
that big body of water there, it's non-judgmental. It doesn't know discrimination. It just is.
Yeah.
And it's there, and it's waiting to give you a big hug.
I like that, although I'm not always so keen on the hug, but yeah, I'll take that one. Well, it's been an honour having you, and thank you for sharing so openly. It's inspiring, not just because of what you've achieved, but because of how human and honest your story is. Do you have any last words for our listeners?
Go surf.
I'll take that. I might give it a go now. I'll try and get something booked in, but yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I think that was everything. Was there anything else that you guys had?
I think that was great.
Yeah.
I think it sounds amazing. Like your entire philosophy towards doing my little sister, she's a massive water baby as well, and she literally swears to water baby without saying it's a massive fun. She said there's no worries when you're in water.
No, there's not. Yeah, everything just melts away. It's gone. Yeah. That's why. Well, I'm pretty sure I've got gills appearing there. I spend that much time in there. So, you can, in the summer I'm that busy. I can be in a wetsuit for 12 hours a day, and it's literally just I'm down there with the first group, then the next group comes down to me.
Yeah.
And I'm in the ocean, and I just love what I do.
I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Like, obviously, trench foot was a thing. Like when they're in the trenches, is being wet all day. Is that not a struggle for the body?
It's not that bad in the summer because I'm not wearing boots.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not just kind of sitting there, kind of
on your feet,
which is what they used to have in the trenches. So you know that I did Survivor, TV show. Yeah. So I was wearing shoes, and stupidly, I thought the best thing to do was wear a pair of sort of waterproof socks to keep the feet sort of dry as much as possible. Because I was wearing them all the time, I ended up with trench foot.
Because they're waterproof.
Yeah, the socks
so it's keeping it in.
Yeah, it was keeping the moisture in. Because when I was sweating, and I ended up with trench foot while I was there. So a couple of ex-military guys was like, "We can get that sorted in 2 days."
Yeah.
Take your socks off. Every time you walk past the fire, get some of the cold ashes, put your foot in it.
Okay.
Like that, and literally just soaked all the moisture out. 2 days later, I was fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
because my feet weren't breathing.
Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, I probably would have done something similar and then ended up with the same problem because I'm like, oh, this is a smart move.
Yeah, see, obviously I'm there. I was worried about spiders, snakes, tarantulas. What else did we see? Scorpions, and stuff like that. And I don't want to tread on something like that.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was a case of, I got trench foot, so I'm going to have to walk around barefoot. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so in the mornings, because I don't sleep with my leg on, so I had to tap my leg out every morning to make sure there wasn't anything that set up camp inside it. Yeah. We saw tarantulas like that big. Not that big, me leg, but scorpions were like that. So it's like, I'll tap my leg out every morning, make sure there's nothing in it. Yeah.
And I guess Antarctica, surfing there, that obviously requires vastly different equipment and
the Arctic
wetsuits.
Circle. Not Antarctica.
Sorry, forgive me.
So the wetsuit, basically you look like Mr. Blobby.
Yeah.
It's that thick. Yeah. So here I surf in a 3mm wetsuit.
Yeah.
I was in a 6mm one there. It's got a built-in hood, big gloves, boots, the lot.
I was going to say, like, if you did that and then you don't go in the sea here without a wetsuit, like, but you survived once.
I'm in so long. Yeah.
I'm in here. It's true.
If I go for a surf, it's a minimum of 2 hours.
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that. Yeah. Like I say, I definitely don't go in for that long when I do go. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They're lucky if I get my shoulders in. My dog's the same. He won't go in above his shoulders, really.
Okay.
So
it's
both of us.
Well, mine's grown up to it, so he's in there swimming. He's cracking on a bit now. He's 16. He's a Springer Spaniel, so he is a swimmer anyway.
Yeah.
He loves swimming.
And mine's a collie, so he's not by nature is he into water, but he tries.
Oh yeah, no, Billy is a full water dog. So at low tide, sort of the rock pools on the cliffs just beyond the point there.
Yeah.
And they're really deep. So if there's big swell running, we just take him down there and he's in the rock pools. Yeah, and he'll just stay in there all day, just swimming.
That's wicked. He'll only lay in the shallows, Rex. That's it.
I know. If he's not out of his depth, he's not happy. He wants to swim.
No! I wish Rex was like that, but no. Yeah, I'd love to have him swim.
Yeah. Annie will walk him down there, and I'll go surfing. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And then when they come back, if I'm coming out, he'll try and save me. He thinks I'm going to drown, so he'll come running in, try and round me up. Yeah,
Oh,
because he's
that's
from a
sweet.
working farm as well. When we first got, he's never worked, but we've had him from a puppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's instinctively he'll try and round me up. Yeah, keep you safe. Yeah.
Mine just barks at the shoreline. Like that's
Yeah.
gonna help.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like thanks, buddy.
The only time he barks is if we stop.
Okay.
So if we're walking the beach and we see someone we know and we're chatting, he'll start barking.
Yeah.
We're on the beach.
Come on. Yeah.
I should be walking.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Yeah.
They are good at keeping you going, aren't they?
Yeah, and exactly. Again, that's something else. Having the dog, having the pet.
Yeah.
It's got me out of bed on mornings when I haven't wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Because I've had to.
I
get out. Yeah.
I swear that he saved my life. Like I had cancer, and then fell into addiction after trying to like get back to normal life, and he was the constant that meant I had to get up in the mornings, even when I felt crap from chemo. It was still like, gotta go out, gotta look after you before I disappear for 8 hours.
It's not their fault the way I'm feeling, so I've got to get up. I've got to feed you.
Yeah,
you need a walk. I don't care if it's raining or whatever.
Yeah,
I've got to take you out.
And I think he's also inspired me to make our life better now, because he did have that kind of 2 years where we didn't go out a lot because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, this is his life, and I've got to make up for the 2 years that I wasn't there for him. And Cornwall's given me that opportunity, as much as my personal opinions of growing up here.
And it's the thing with Billy as well. I take him out, and it's kind of like I'm looking at me watching. Oh, come on, hurry up! And I'm thinking, hold up, no, this is your walk. It's not my walk.
No,
exactly. If you want to sniff, then have a sniff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as he's getting older, he's doing more sniffing than walking.
Yeah.
Really. But it's like I can't be hurrying him up.
No,
this is his time.
And I think I didn't appreciate that in the beginning, and I think dealing with my mortality kind of showed me that with him, because obviously they're here for a lot shorter time than we are, so don't like bugs.
Yeah. But I feel we've been quite lucky. Like I say he's 16, so and he's still doing it. He's a couple of miles a day now, and he's done.
Yeah.
But before he'd do 2 10-mile walks and then go, right, what we're doing now?
Yeah.
And sort of bouncing around it.
Yeah, we can spend all day at the beach. We still get home, and he's like, "We're going out again."
Yeah. Well, now what? No, go to the
I've eaten.
Yeah. I'm refilled.
Yeah. Do you feel the same from like the surf machines that they have at resorts? Have you ever tried one? I assume you've tried one.
I've surfed up in Bristol quite a lot.
Yeah.
I call that wave riding.
Okay.
As opposed to surfing.
Yeah.
Surfing is this.
The surf. Yeah.
Surfing is when once you get to a level, it's knowing the ocean, reading the ocean. I get described as a waterman because I understand the ocean.
Yeah.
And looking at the way it's moving, where the waves are going to break, where you need to be, stuff like that. Whereas the mechanical one, you're in the same place every time.
Yeah, you're not having to think about it.
You take off, you ride the wave. You got an easy paddle out. You take off, you ride the wave. You got an easy paddle out. Great for training because you can drill turns. So it's like, right, I know it's going to break there, so I can put more power into my turn this time. I can do this. And you can do the same thing over and over. So great training tool.
Yeah.
Wave riding, not surfing.
Yeah. I'll take that. Yeah. I've only ever tried it once, and I wasn't very good at that. So. I fall over a lot. I mean, that's just me in life in general, to be fair. So, yeah.
Seriously, you're saying that to a one-legged guy? Come on.
Yeah, do you know, I would honestly, I might bet that I've fallen over more times. Don't know what it is. Just got 2 right feet, and they're just.
I've got a cupboard full of left ones. Because I've got different legs for different things.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm the Imelda Marcos of legs. Oh, you're too young. You know who Imelda Marcos is? No.
Not at the end of the Wizard of Oz?
No.
They got all the heads?
No. So, she was, I think, part of the Greek royal family back in the day. But she had a world-renowned shoe collection.
Yeah.
With like thousands and thousands of pairs of shoes. And that's why I say I'm the Imelda Marcos of legs.
Yeah.
I don't have thousands, but I have hundreds.
Yeah.
Not hundreds.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so
an impressive amount.
I've got surfing ones, I've got running ones, I've got just walking around ones, I've got fancy dress ones.
Yeah.
I've got ones for just hiking, so they're set up for a hiking boot. I've got ones for altitude that are set up for crampons.
Okay.
So I have them at altitude, so I've got crampons on them, and I've got a whole range.
You name
of them.
it. Yeah.
I've got Union Jack ones, I've got a Pegleg one that hasn't got a foot on it. It's been laminated to look like wood.
Yeah.
So it's a proper pirate,
that is cool.
pirate leg. Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah.
Yeah.